Right, so here I am again in a very cold time of the year. Back in the earlier this month, I traded in my I've got my little Suzuki Marauder 125 and traded that in for another 125, but this time a PCX 125 scooter, mainly for the fuel economy and just practicality, really, with the intention of just using it for work and yeah, and just saving some money on fuel and maintenance costs and all that stuff. But yeah, so I've stopped riding it, and I'll see if I can put up a little clip of me laying on it. So yeah, there's me riding through on the PCX, and it's a great little bike and a great little scooter. I've got nothing against scooters, really, but I rode it in to work for about 3 weeks, and then after the third week, after a number of what I would call incidents, not really incidents, but just sort of riding it, I stopped riding it. Now the thing is because it's a 125, around town it's fine, you know. On roads like this, it's absolutely perfect. It's sort of fit for purpose, and it's great for roads like this, because it seems that's the sort of roads it was designed for. But as soon as you take up the motorway, you kind of just have to sit there. I mean, it'll do 60 miles an hour, but it tops out at 60 miles an hour, and that's the fastest it'll go. It feels like it's restricted to 60 miles an hour. It feels like the engine wants to pull some more, but then there's something stopping it, like a restrictor in place, which apparently there is. So I have the 2011 model, and yeah, and I just thought, you know what, and my initial thoughts were, this is great around town. I mean, you fill it up with fuel, and it costs you £5, and you think, man, that's amazing. At one point, my fuel bill for the week was like £4.90 or something like that, and you think, come on, it's like the price of a cup of coffee, or a decent cup of coffee in London. And yeah, so I thought, wow, I could save tons of cash doing riding this thing in. So but here I am. I'm back on my Ninja, and for well, what I believe is good reason, and it's purely mainly because the way that you're treated on the roads, you know, not in a crazy dangerous way, but just in a way that you realize people, mostly I would say car drivers, in fact, give you literally there's no respect from car drivers on the road if you're on a scooter, is what I noticed. In fact, it was coming up right here, actually. I was filtering past just yesterday, actually, I was filtering past a whole load of traffic at this set of traffic lights, and there was I can't remember what it was. It's some Nissan Primera or something. And so as I was passing the car at the top, the driver intentionally went forward as to close off the gap that I was going for. And there was plenty of room for me to filter past. But no, he intentionally, it was kind of like this, actually. I was going for this gap like this car's doing, going forward. But go on, mate, it's alright. Well, see this guy, right? He allowed me to go, he basically said, you know, go on. And so I give him a wave. He basically, you know, showed me some respect and said, go on mate, you can go. But what happened yesterday was that I was going for the gap. The car driver intentionally was going forward and looking at me, and as if to say, no, you're not coming in, you're not coming here. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, that's just, it's crazy. I mean, like, yeah, on this bike, as you've just seen, you know, I go for a small gap. Yeah, sure, that Merc there was going a bit forward, but that's because the light was turning green. And he actually stopped and said, no, you go, mate. And I thought, well, if that was on the scooter, that would never have happened. You've just gone, no, scooter, I'll go, you know. And it's just, what is it? I mean, I don't understand. So, and that wasn't the only little incident. It was, again, on a different road. I was filtering past traffic on the scooter, and what happened? I was filtering. I was on the outside, filtering, you know, on the outside, and on the right of me, the opposing traffic, and yeah. So it got to the point where I thought, oh no, I need to tuck back into traffic now. So I go to tuck back in, you know, in between the gap between the car behind me and the car in front of me, and the car behind me speeds up so that I literally cannot get in. And you know, and just sort of, I'm like looking at him and sort of like, I suppose, what's the word, professionally verbalizing my distaste at his action. And no, it just completely blanks me, as if, you know, and I'm just like, that would not happen if I was on this bike, if I had done the same thing on this bike. It's just like, what is it? So, you know, I was riding the thing with the intention that I've been riding for London for like 6 years now, commuting every day, with the sort of thinking that, you know what, nobody cares what bike you're on, no one gives a crap, you know, you're just another vehicle on the road. But turns out, in my experience, it does actually matter what vehicle you ride, apparently, because you will get treated differently depending on the bike you're on. Now the funny thing is, I noticed this was all, I mean, there's a few other incidents as well over the three week period that occurred that just essentially just put me off riding the scooter. And you know, and I just thought, well, and it wasn't actually from other riders either. It wasn't from you know, from the guys on you know, on the bigger bikes, the Ninjas and Ducatis and so forth. Those guys were actually quite you know, quite respectful. They'd pass you, but not in any disrespectful way. If you can disrespectfully pass somebody, I don't know. But I didn't find I was you know, I suppose shown disrespect by other riders. It was mainly by car drivers, and I just found that really incredible. So yeah, so I'm back on the Ninja, and you know, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that makes car drivers just a little bit more respectful towards you. Is it the exhaust? Is it the loud exhaust? I don't know. But you know, when it comes to safety, I mean, these people are, you know, I'm trying to make progress, and these people are like putting my safety in jeopardy. I'm like, well, sod it. You know, an extra bit of fuel saving is not worth the extra sacrifice in safety. So I'm back on this, and I'll keep the scooter. Because obviously I like to do all my own maintenance on my bike. So if for whatever reason this is out of commission because I'm working on it, then then I'll take it in. But yeah, but as far as scooters go, I mean, I got nothing against scooters and scooter riders. I mean, you know, we're all just sharing the same road at the end of the day, and we all decided to ride a two-wheeled vehicle. You know, we all have the same safety risks. Doesn't matter what machine you're on. I mean, the PCX though is a good scooter. It's great. It actually accelerates pretty quickly. Great fuel saving. I fitted a touring windscreen to it just to reduce the wind. I turned it into a proper little commuter. Even got the little oven mitts on there on the handlebars, and yeah. And as far as scooters go, yeah, great little scooter. I just was kind of in disbelief at the different way you're treated on the road, and it's just not very nice. So yeah, that's my rant for today. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love riding this. This is a really cool bike, and you know, riding this is 1,000 times better than riding a scooter. But I was kind of making a sacrifice, you know, for sacrificing that pleasure and joy for a little bit of economy. But I've now come to the thinking that, you know what, it's not worth it. So yeah, because I was just thinking, because plenty of, you know, guys who have bigger bikes, they choose to ride scooters in purely for the economy, for the fact that they don't want to be putting tons of miles on their favourite bike, you know, just for the commute to work. And that's what was my reasoning as well. But yeah, the good thing is though, after not riding this for 3 weeks, you really do miss it. You really do get back on it and go, oh yes, the extra power is so nice, especially when you haven't ridden it in a while. It's like, oh yeah, that's really good.